What's up, guys? Welcome to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. I'm Josh Evanoff. He's Angel Ortega. UFC this week, NBA talk, and a little bit of boxing. We're gonna start off in UFC Rio Rancho. Obviously, last week, we recorded on a Sunday, so we got all the the UFC 247 stuff out of the way. So we're just gonna go straight into the card this Saturday night from Albuquerque, not Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Just thinking in New Mexico, my bad. In the main event, light heavyweights, Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz. It seemed like this is the number one contender fight. Obviously, I think Corey's on a 3-fight winning streak or 3 or 4, and now Jan's on 2. And before that, he won like 3 in a row. So both guys are streaking going into this fight, and it seemed like we were, the winner of the main event was going to get that kind of title opportunity against John Jones. That may not happen anymore, but we'll get into that. Firstly, I just want to ask you, who you got in the main event? Because obviously this is a really good wrestler versus striker matchup. But Corey Anderson showed in his fight with Johnny Walker, like, the dude's got hands. But, obviously Jan, he's been looking great lately. Knocked out Luke Rockhold. Who you got?
This is a tough one. I feel like either guy could take it. Young brought it. Corey looked great last time out. Completely just giving it to Johnny. I did not expect that. I had a lot of hope in Johnny. So, I mean, I'm trying to think who I edge it out to because I feel like it's honestly going to come down to that. I think I'll stay with Jan. I feel like that's the safe pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if Corey came out on top either. I think like once again close fight. I feel like a lot of these fights are very close. I haven't been super sure on one side or the other. I've had confidence, but I think this is probably the one where I think either guy could take it on a good night.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, this is a rematch of, they fought once before, but they fought back in 2015. And whenever Jan got into the UFC, he didn't look that good. Like, he knocked out Ilir Latifi in his first fight. And then after that, he lost 4 or 5, and Corey Anderson 30-26'd him, and it was really, really bad. He was just getting dominated every single time he went out there. And then since then, ever since he lost to Patrick Cummins, of all people, he's won, like, I don't know, like 6 of 7, beat Manawa, Cannonier, Krylov, Rockhold, Jacare. Dude's been looking great lately, but I got to go with Corey Anderson. There's something about seeing him just beat the shit out of Johnny Walker. Like, that was violent. Like, sometimes Corey Anderson's fights, he'll go out and he'll just decision a guy. Ilir Latifi, that fight's a pretty good example of that. Glover Teixeira is an even bigger example. He'll just use his wrestling, and he only has 2 stoppage wins in the UFC off the top of my head, I believe. He may have 3. I think he won the Ultimate Fighter with a stoppage finish, but I'm not really positive. And then obviously he beat Sean O'Connell. So I don't think he'll get the finish here. I think that he's going to get a decision win. He may, eke him out in the final like rounds, or whatever. May get the stoppage of the final rounds, and that's obviously more important. But Jan's a huge guy, I think. But even then, like, his wrestling defense, it has improved over time, but I don't think it'll be enough. Co-main event in the people's main event, to be entirely clear. Diego Sanchez taking on the human Beyblade, Michael Pereira. However you pronounce his name, I don't even know. But I know he is Brazilian, so sometimes they have different pronunciations. Obviously, Diego Sanchez at welterweight has looked like a reinvigorated man as of late. He's gotten that hype behind him. He did lose to Michael Chiesa, but everybody's losing to Michael Chiesa at welterweight, so I don't think it's necessarily that big of a deal. But he beat Craig White. He was a former Cage Warriors title challenger, and then he got the big win over Mickey Gall. That Mickey Gall win really put him back on the map, and people were like, "Oh shit, Diego Sanchez still fights." Yes, Diego Sanchez still fights, and he looked pretty damn good in that one. Pereira, obviously, he came into the UFC with the big knockout win over what is his name? Hot Chocolate, Danny Roberts, and Danny's a pretty good fighter. But then he went out there, faced Tristan Connell, who took the fight on like 3 days' notice. He missed weight by like 5 pounds, and he got dominated by a career lightweight. Not a good look, however, still so fun to watch that he's in the co-main event slot here. This fight I've also been going back and forth on, very, very close one, but I'll throw it back to you, Angel, once again. Who do you got, Sanchez or the human Beyblade?
Dude, oh man, look, matchup wise, I think this is gonna be fucking entertaining. Sometimes I care more about the entertainment aspect of fighting rather than who wins, just because I wouldn't be entertained, right? Because I don't want to sit there and, maybe see two guys just lay on the ground for, the whole match, right? So I like some spinning shit in my life, right? That's why, I like Pereira because of that. When I saw him fight, I was like, this is not gonna work at all. This is the worst fucking idea you could do, spinning constantly around. But I was down for it because I was entertained. Because I'm like, if any of this lands, it's gonna be the greatest thing on planet Earth. Now, if he comes in with that same plan, there's no way he's gonna win. I doubt he will. I think he's been more knowledgeable of that. But if he does, I think Diego can probably take it like pretty handily. Because I mean, obviously, just that using all that gas up early on is just a terrible idea. Even with just it being, it's only gonna be 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and if it was 5, I'd be fuck. That'd be terrible if he decided to do that. So I mean, if he sticks to a safer plan, maybe I give him a better chance of winning. But I think no matter what, I'll probably lean towards Diego for the most part and getting the victory.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it's important to remember, like, he didn't just gas out against, like, Tristan Connolly. He gassed out in, like, 2 minutes. And I feel like part of that is because I'm not sure if you guys remember, he had a whole choreographed walkout. Like, he had dancing and he did, like, 3 flips walking into the cage itself. Like, the dude was doing some crazy shit out there. And then he had to go fight and do a bunch of spinning shit. Um, I don't think he's gonna tone down what he does because that's the way he got into the UFC. That's the way he made his name. There's a highlight. UFC posted a highlight reel for him this past week, and it's like the first time I've ever seen them do that for a one-on-one fighter with not much championship or like high level experience behind them because he was very much a journeyman. Never really a journeyman, but he was never like a high level guy until he started doing flipping shit in Road FC and he went viral. So I think he's gonna stay with the spinning shit. I think he's gonna do a lot of that stuff. But I think Diego Sanchez, he still has a pretty tough chin to crack. He has great grappling. Obviously, now it depends on. I'm not sure. I know last time around he had one coach out there with no experience, literally none coaching MMA. He's like a life coach, which is like Diego Sanchez is just a wild man. But I think
Oh
just on
my
pure.
god.
You
Was
didn't
he
know
the one
that?
who was telling him to throw the Tyson punches? Was he that guy?
Yes, he
Oh
was
my
that guy.
god. I remember that. That's fucking terrible.
He might still be there. I don't know if he is or not. Um,
Dude, I have a question. Is Michael Pereira, or is he the same guy from that? I don't know if you've seen it, that viral MMA clip where he does like the backflip into the guy's face.
yes, that's him.
Oh my god.
That's that's one of the clips that got him signed, bro.
Okay. Because I was like,
So
I remembered that right now as we were talking about him because I think they might have shown the highlights. And I'm like, is that the same guy?
yeah, it's the same guy. That's part of the reason why he got signed. He's I don't know his record off the top of my head, but I think it's like 25-15 or something like that. Like
22-10, 2 no contest. So there you go.
wait, what is it?
22-10, 2 no contest.
Okay.
According to Google and then the UFC or whatever right there.
All right. So not bad, but I think he got signed to like well, obviously he's like 21-9. That's not exactly a stellar like record to get signed into the UFC, especially when you're not a former title challenger, title holder. So he's really just known for his spinning shit, which I love, But I think against like Diego Sanchez, he's gonna gas out. And like Tristan Connolly is like a guy who he's a 155er. He's very much a regional guy. Um, he's not a former title challenger, a former like ranked guy for long periods of time. Diego Sanchez is a cardio monster, so I'm gonna take him in the co-main. And something I've actually started tracking since I decided I was gonna do this for all of 2020. I decided that I'm gonna track our main event and co-main stuff. And as it stands right now, I believe we are tied for all the UFC cards this year. So
Okay.
we'll see who takes the lead this weekend, or if we end up being tied again because we split on the main event. Anyways, something I wanted to ask is because I brought it up earlier. John Jones, obviously, he fought last weekend against Dominic Reyes. We both had him losing, as did the majority of people. But that being said, he still technically is the light heavyweight champion of the world. The only time I've ever seen a champion lose 2 fights in a row and still remain champion. That's besides the point. So this weekend, obviously, was meant to be a big title, winner gets a title shot. That's what it was built up as. That still may be the case. However, that's not really looking like it's going to be the case. If you had, Angel Ortega, you're the matchmaker for the UFC. You are now Sean Shelby. You are now McMahon or whatever the fuck their names are. You are now him. All right. You get to pick John Jones next fight. Who do you want to see John Jones face next?
Can I get real crazy?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, okay, John, we're gonna strip Stipe. We want you to move up to a heavyweight. You fight the winner of Ngannou versus Rosenstruik for the title in heavyweight. You become a title holder in both weight classes simultaneously. And I would probably push you to retire at that point.
Wow, that is pretty crazy. I
And
thought you were just gonna say something like Brock Lesnar or some shit, but
yeah.
I actually heard somebody. I don't remember who it was. It might have been who was it? It might have been Brendan Schaub actually, who said they wanted to see him go up and face the winner of that fight, not with the title on the line, but that's kind of close to what I would like to.
Hmm.
That's kind of close to what I'd like to see. Obviously, I think the Reyes rematch is there. I want to see Reyes get that rematch. He deserves that rematch very clearly. Like he won that fight. The majority of people thought he won that fight. John Jones immediately afterwards in the Thrill and the Agony web series, he thought that Dominic Reyes won that fight. But I don't want to see it right now. I think that like you give that fight some time to marinate. And, I think what you have to do, like if I'm the UFC and I'm the matchmakers, I want to see John Jones facing whoever at heavyweight in an interim heavyweight title fight. Because Stipe, still his eyes not cleared, and who even knows if he'll be back this year. It hasn't been that long, but whenever it's been like what 6-7 months and you have displayed zero interest in defending the title, stripping you, they said they like to give you a year, so that means interim title against either the winner of Rosenstruik and Ngannou. DC3 is obviously an option. And then Stipe himself is an option if he ever gets cleared from his eye. And then I think at light heavyweight, you got to do Dominic Reyes versus either the winner of this weekend's fight or Thiago Santos if Thiago is healthy. I think that's the way to go. Because, Santos arguably beat John. Reyes should have beaten John. And then obviously the winner of this fight this weekend has a lot of momentum going into that, and you can have that be either for the interim strap or just for the strap itself. So I think there's a lot of interest there. I think that's the fight to make, fights, quote unquote, to make. And now we move on to the NBA, and I'm gonna let you take the lead on this next topic because I just want to ask you. You get the news. Devin Booker snubbed from the All-Star team. They talk about the logistics behind it, and it was considered one of the biggest snubs of all time based on his statistics and his numbers and just how efficient he has been. And then it comes out. The, soon-to-be 8 seed Phoenix Suns and their fearless leader, Devin Booker, are now going to be in the All-Star game due to Damian Lillard dropping out for injury reasons, but he's fine, maybe. Anyways, Devin Booker's now in the All-Star game. Andrew Ortega, how happy are you?
Finally, Booker has that All-Star award. Uh, I was gonna be fucking furious if he got it before Luka and Trey, but they all got it at the same time, which made me so happy because Booker's had it coming for a long time at this point. And I mean, it was there, it was set, and now he has it, and it feels so good. It's on my birthday. All-Star Game's on my birthday, so I get to see that and the three-point contest. Booker's to be participating in both, so I'm excited. Hope he brings back the crown for the three-point contest. I hope he kills it in the All-Star Game. Potential MVP. I'm hoping maybe Booker's gonna drop 71 this game, or he might say fucking and chase that Bill Russell record and drop 101 in an All-Star Game for the memes.
Damn.
So I hope something crazy happens. And I know he's gonna be having a great time, and I'm sure he'll have fun with all the guys, and hopefully he can maybe rub some good shoulders with people there, and make some stuff happen for the Suns later on, right?
Well, he's gonna go to the Timberwolves, bro. Didn't you hear?
That's my biggest fear right now. Honestly, I'm theorizing. I'm like, the contract ends. He gets his money. He can get the pay. He wouldn't mind getting the pay cut when he moves to the Wolves, and that team gets set. But I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does, I wouldn't have an issue with it.
Mm.
I mean, they've already said they've talked. I mean, they're all really good. Those three guys are super good friends, and they've known each other forever since they were kids. And they've said that at some point in their lifetime, they're all going to play on the same team together some way, like in the NBA at some point. And I mean, two of them are already on the same team now. Only one isn't. So we'll see how that goes down.
Well, I mean, who knows? It could be them going to the Suns. Everybody's talking about them going to him going to the Wolves. For all we know, they're gonna go to the Suns. I mean, the Suns are the better team.
You never know, dude. A crazy shit can happen. I mean, Cat and D'Lo could be like, "We're gonna fucking walk next year if you don't, like pay us more or try to get Devin. If not, we're gonna, or do a trade with the Suns and get us over there, so at least you get something in return." Like, you never know. Shit could happen like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely possible.
I
I would
mean,
not rule that out.
we live in an NBA where players can do shit like that now, so anything could happen. They could be there and be like, "Hey, trade us to the Suns, get something in return. If not, we're fucking walking next year, and the Suns will make cap space for us or whatever, or however, or another team will, or whatever happens. You never know, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
anything can happen. So
In this modern NBA, literally anything can happen. It's insane how much kind of power players have. But I guess we'll get this one out of the way because in terms of All Star Weekend, we can throw predictions for other stuff out there. But in terms of the All Star Game, uh, it seems like it's going to be a clear one, and I actually think this one's going to be a competitive All Star Game. Normally, they kind of just fuck around, and that's just the way things are. But I think with stuff going on with Kobe, and there's going to be a special game and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be more competitive. You know, um, obviously it's like the winner's team's gonna get like the charity money and stuff like that. So who do you got, Team LeBron or Team Giannis?
dude, I got Team Braun. I got Team Braun, dude. This East team, like, no hate to all those guys. Those guys are amazing. Like, shout out to them. But this team, Braun is nasty. Like, if you put this in 2K and simulated it, I think this team can maybe go undefeated
They
because
absolutely.
it's ridiculous. I mean, they have they have Anthony Davis, no surprise. Obviously, LeBron is captain. Luka, Kawhi, and James Harden. Like, that's just instantly insane. No hate to the East because obviously they have Giannis, Joel. Two amazing guys. Pascal, great, cementing himself up there. I'm happy that he's grown so much, especially since like coming out of college, he wasn't like a crazy big name. There wasn't too much hype behind him. Uh, and now he's here. And then Kemba, obviously Kemba finally on a contending team. And Trey, well, you know.
The way I took that is of like you saying, never mind, never mind.
Okay, we'll just say here in a second. And now and then they have Trey, which is just kind of like, I'm not even gonna lie, I almost feel like that's just like a fuck it pick, No hate, like fuck it, let's just pick up Trey. I mean, he's almost averaging 30 points. But yeah, so what were you gonna say about Kemba?
I was gonna say I completely took that as like you were saying that like he's on an all-star team. They're gonna be competing. Fuck the Celtics. Like
No, 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 no. He's finally on a competitive. He's finally on a contending team.
I just,
not the
but
All Star one.
you,
Like I
you
thought.
know how I am though. I'm not a believer in the Celtics.
I
Like
know
like they look good, but I don't think they're gonna do much
they're
compared to.
they're in a weird spot. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think we have it pretty set. I think we're both total on Team Braun, right?
Team Braun is so fucking stacked, man. It's just Team Braun is so. It's literally the team. Like I saw them comparing it to the 2000 like Western Conference All Star
Oh
team that
yeah,
had like Shaq and Kobe and all that shit.
that shit's still
Oh,
really nasty though.
oh, it's so nasty. But like this team could
It's just as
probably compete with that.
it's just as like nasty as well.
Like God bless all the young guys on that East squad of Kemba, Trey, Giannis, Pascal, Joel. A lot of those are pretty young
Dude, the
guys.
reserves too. You got Bam, Brandon, Don.
Yeah.
All those and Chris. I mean, Chris is still relative, like really young in the grand scheme of things. I mean, not saying Jimmy, Rudy, and Kyle are all old, but they've been in the NBA, for a while now.
Yeah. But then like just it's like it's the young guys trying to make a name versus all of like really just such a stacked squad. Like there's so much fucking talent on Team Braun. Like I would love to see the East go out there and pull the upset, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I mean, just look at seven-time All-Star Anthony Davis scored 52 points in the 2017 All-Star game. Eight-time All-Star James Harden, 2018 Kia NBA MVP, 2018 NBA scoring champ Kawhi Leonard, four-time All-Star, two times Final MVP, two-time Kia Defensive Player of the Year, as well as NBA champ. And you got Luka, first-time All-Star, 2019 Kia Rookie of the Year, and then LeBron James, 16-time All-Star, four-time Kia NBA MVP, and three-time All-Star MVP, along with as well as being an NBA champion.
And that's not even talking about the guys on the bench, because I think the bench is also better. Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, the GOAT Devin Booker, Brandon Ingram making an appearance, which I'm really happy about. Jokic, Gobert. if both these teams are trying, I would like this game's gonna be dope. But even then, I
I
think this could be a wash for the West.
Oh yeah, I bet my house on it.
Yeah,
Watch that.
your whole
Wait,
house.
watch that comment not age well.
It's just Angel's gonna be homeless in fucking 3 days.
Yeah, I hope not.
But yeah, I think this one's gonna be a fun one. Which is the reason why I talk about it. Because normally I don't give a flying fuck about the All-Star game.
I like watching. I like checking it out. I think it's just kind of like nice seeing all the guys, on the same team. I mean, outside of when they're in the Olympics and participating and other stuff. Olympics, that's this year, right?
Yes, it is 2020. We get
Yeah.
to see that.
So we'll get to see. Is LeBron gonna make one last Olympic run? Probably not.
I think he will.
You think he will? You think he'll do it one more last time?
Yeah, I think he has to. Not he has to, but he probably feels like he has to.
You know what's crazy though? Like we have so many international guys now in the league. Like Pascal is not gonna, represent the U.S. Giannis, obviously from Greece, won't represent the U.S. Luca, as well, won't represent the U.S. Like, a lot of those guys up top aren't gonna, represent the U.S. So that's
Yeah,
actually
so
Porzingis, Jokic. Like that's actually kind of wild when you look at it.
yeah, and as a result, we'll probably get a lot more fun of a Olympics because while the team, like the U.S. team, is probably still going to be like significantly better, like overall, but a lot of the stars are from international countries. So
Yeah,
we'll
we have a lot more international stars. A lot of stars, a lot of the great players are still within the U.S. though.
yeah, a lot of it, still a lot of really good ones, but LeBron's just going to go out there and pull some bullshit and like his.
Oh yeah, and Embiid too, dude. I didn't even think about that. Embiid, he won't represent the U.S. probably.
Shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys.
So there's a lot of dudes, but that's going to be fun. I didn't even think about that. That is this year. I'm
Shit,
normally
and
not an Olympics guy outside of basketball.
didn't Ben Simmons say he was gonna represent the U.S. that he won't represent Australia?
I don't know about that.
I
I
think
did
something
not
like
see
that.
anything about that.
Or if he were to, I don't remember. There's a whole thing there. I remember that hearing about that a little while back, but I'm not just putting that out there.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to touch on in All Star Weekend, or do you want to?
Oh wait, didn't the NBA dunk contest get announced? It's insane. Well, it's gotten
Oh
announced for a
yeah,
while. Who's the
yeah.
whole lineup? It's nasty.
Let me find it real quick. Okay. Okay. We
Yeah.
got Dwight Howard, Derek Jones, Aaron Gordon, and Pat. Oh man, I don't know how to pronounce that man's name. Conna Connaughton
I
from
don't
the
know.
Bucks.
Pat Connolly, right? I
I don't know
think.
if that's how you pronounce it, but it's like Catan.
I think it's Connolly. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's a nasty lineup right there. I'm picking Aaron Gordon to get it.
I'm picking
Like
my boy Derrick
gun
Jones
to my head
Jr. I'll just do it for the. I'll do it for the memes.
for the memes. I'd love to see Dwight win it
That
because
that'd be his second time, right? Or how many ever times he's done it now?
yeah. Well, I wanted him to win it for like the emotional thing. Is I guess Kobe was going to be a part of one of his dunks. That's what he said. And now, obviously, we don't need to get into that, but Kobe Bryant's not really around. So, just for the emotional thing, I think it'd be cool to see him win it, and also could kind of like complete his redemption storyline going on right now.
Oh yeah, dude, it'd be perfect. I mean, does the dunk contest, you know, could win a ring this year. Like, it's kind of back in LA, like after his time there. I mean, I guess you're right. It's kind of wild. So it would be a nice little, full circle moment for him, I think.
It would be really really cool. Do you want to talk about the? But it's still bullshit that Vince Carter's not in. I want to say that. I know Vince didn't want to do it, and that's why he's not in. But
Vince could
come on,
still
Vince,
dunk.
do it for the. Yeah, do it for the people, bro. But he said he didn't want to do it because he's like, there's no way I can replicate it, like from what I used to do. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. It's
No
not.
one cares. He still would have got 40 every time. No one would
That's
have
true.
complained. It's just, your extra factor is that you're 40. Like that literally plays a factor into this thing. Like you honestly got to think about that. Like at least me, if I was like there, like scoring it, I would always take into account the fact that Vince Carter is 40 years old and still dunking.
Yeah, that's true, and it'd be hard not to take that into account
Yeah, like
because
this man's
he can still dunk.
43. 43 turned 43 last month.
That's so wild, bro. Like he's
He,
literally 40. He's played in 4 decades in the NBA. the 90s, wait a minute, no, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s.
Bam.
So he's the GOAT. Anyways, 3-point contest. Obviously, we got Davis Bertans, Devontae Graham, Joe Harris, the reigning champion, Buddy Hield, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker, Duncan Robinson, and Trae Young. I'm not sure the odds on this. I'm not sure who's the favorite. I would assume it'd probably be either Joe Harris or, because obviously he's the reigning champion, or Trae Young.
I wonder how the numbers are looking. I'm trying. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt. I don't even. Has Zach been doing that good from three this year? I don't know.
I don't know. That's why I'm a bit surprised to see him in here because I haven't heard a lot about his shooting.
Currency 38.5, so that's really good.
Yeah, so I'll be damned.
Let me look up Buddy Hield right here. Got it pulled up. He's rocking 38.5 as well.
My man, Buddy.
Let's look up Duncan Robinson because that's the one that I'm really curious about myself. He was rocking 43.8. Who knows what the numbers are on that? But that's what we get.
Yeah.
Trae. He's been shooting a lot, so 36.9. I forget what league average is. I know it changes every year.
Yeah, it's been going up progressively for a while now.
Joe Harris sitting at a cool 40.8. So there you go. Devontae Graham, former KU. He's sitting at 37.4. Obviously, these are just numbers when it comes to the actual moment. I mean, everything is different. Booker's sitting at a cool little 35.8. Former champion. And Davis Bertans, my bad, David, is sitting at 42.4. And I mean, all these guys can just get it rolling at any moment from three. I mean, we've all seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Duncan Robinson, but I mean, Buddy Hield, Joe Harris, Booker, Bertans, like Trae, like I've, just seen him play. I mean, sometimes it's just automatic. So when it comes time, we'll see.
So gun to your head though, who do you got?
Dude, I don't know, because you got to think about it. These people get eliminated as they go. Like if you had a list of three, I could probably pick it easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like if there wasn't so many options, because it's not like I'm picking between two guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, so I think it's too hard to say.
But I'm a homer, so I'm gonna take Buddy Hield. I'll throw my prediction out there. I'm a giant Buddy Hield fan, so I've watched that dude at OU. That dude made some ridiculous shots. Like obviously, the Kings aren't very good this season, which is massive disappointing. I still don't know why the fuck they got rid of their coach. That was a boneheaded move to me. I remember us talking about that at that time.
I was really confused. For fucking what's his name? Now the old Laker coach. Oh my God, why am I blanking on
Luke
it?
Walton.
Yeah, for Luke Walton, they got Luke Walton instead, who was having a court case for alleged rape or something like that. I already forgot.
Yeah, I mean, if that doesn't say if that's not the guy that you should kick out your coach who you've had the best season in years for, then I'm not sure who is.
They did it for the old Lakers coach who didn't even get the Lakers into the playoffs.
Yeah, so that was a terrible decision. I still can't believe they made that decision. Because last year they were competing, like they were close to that 8 spot, man. It took until like the final week, I think, for them to get eliminated. So, and this year I'm pretty sure they have more talent than they did last year. So them not even being close to 500 is just terrible. It's really, really bad. It's a bad look.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But anyway, so the skills challenge. This one I care the least of. I was really, really sad whenever Derrick Rose had to pull out of it. I was really excited for D Rose in the skills competition in Chicago. I believe it's in Chicago this year, if I remember correctly. I was really, really excited for that. Still, nonetheless, he had to drop out. Probably just didn't want to do it. Anyways, Bam Adebayo, Patrick Beverley, Spencer Dinwiddie, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, future GOAT, Chris Middleton, Devontae Sabonis, Pascal Siakam, and Jason Tatum are all the candidates.
Dude, if Beverly wins, that's actually like such a fucking meme.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm going to take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just because, again, I'm a homer.
It's gonna be a guard or a forward. Like there's no and I know there's a lot of forwards, but I mean like it's not gonna be Bam. It's not gonna be Pascal. Like it's gonna be Sabonis. It's gonna be either just like one of the three guards. I mean Middleton plays guard, so does Tatum. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Fuck the NBA for giving us freedom of positions now. But it's probably between I'd say Shea, Tatum, and Spencer are gonna be like the three at the end.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
I think Beverly, and all the bigs will go out early on.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Same page. And now to move on a bit from the All-Star Weekend stuff, we're about halfway through the season, so I think it makes like logistical sense to talk about stuff like this, like Rookie of the Year discussion, MVP discussion, and the stuff that I want to start off with first, because we're getting a pretty good look at the way the playoffs are going to look like. Obviously, there's some teams. Basically, for the West, the top 7 are set. That 8 seed still can go to anybody. Can go to the Grizzlies. Pelicans can make a late run. Suns can make a late run. There's still candidates for that 8 spot in the West, and obviously, uh, 7 and 8 in the East are completely up for grabs. And then even then, seeding is the big part here. So I guess I'll ask you, what playoff series or series do you think? Not only do you think you're going to see, but do you want to see in the NBA playoffs?
Matchup wise, at some point I want to see the Jazz play the Mavericks. I think that's a fun matchup. Like if in the playoffs ever works out, I like to see that early on just to get it done and out of the way because I think that'll be interesting group. Or honestly, anything Nuggets, Jazz, and Mavericks related, I just want to see those guys like play each other early on. I don't want to see that like later into the playoff picture for some reason. Uh, I just think those guys. I think that like those three groups right there are just like potential like dark horses in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like have some upset potential because it's like they're there, but I think they don't look as good as they really are in reality. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So those are my guys. Uh, as for the East, the Heat. I mean, Heat and Sixers is like the only thing I really care about, like matchup wise. Like anything else, I really don't really care about. I really don't have too much faith in the Raptors. Celtics, I don't like. I still see the Bucks making it out of here. I just want the. I honestly, if the end of that can be Bucks Heat somehow, like I love it. I don't think that can happen though, or however it would work out. I just want to see that Buck Heat is like my matchup right now. I just don't have faith in the Sixers. I think the Pacers are in a weird spot. Oladipo isn't fully back yet, and honestly, 7 and 8, like I just don't give a shit about in the East because I know they're just gonna get ran over.
Bro, what are you saying, man? The Nets are gonna. KD's gonna come back and they're gonna make a run, dude.
Dude, that'd be great. It'd be like great meme potential, but I just if it did, I think I mean let's give it a season, then I'll have faith in the Nets. But right now, it's not looking like it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Um, as for myself, jokes aside, 7 and 8 lead as East. I don't give a flying fuck about. As for the East, there's a whole lot of playoff series that like I think would be a lot of fun. Heat Sixers, like I said, would be a really fun one. Pacers with Oladipo. I think right now 6-3 are currently the Pacers and Celtics. I think that'd be a lot of fun. The playoff series I'm dying to see though, just end of the season, Eastern Conference Eastern Conference Finals. I really really want to see the Bucks and the Raptors just go at it again. This time with no Kawhi. I think that'd be really really insane. As for the West, you've got, honestly, Lakers Clippers has to happen. That has to happen. Western Conference Finals. That's what I need in my life. Inject it into my fucking veins. That's what I need. Um, and then as for other ones, anything involving the Mavericks is going to be fun. It seems like the Grizzlies are going to run away with that playoff spot. That's my official prediction. I would like to see teams. I'd like to see like maybe fuck the Blaze. I don't want to see the Blaze in the playoffs. But like I don't think the Spurs are going to come back to make a run for it. I think the Pelicans have looked good lately, so potentially they could. But their schedule's really really hard from here on out. Same for the Suns. So you've got teams where like that are kind of they're close enough, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'd love to see the Thunder and the Rockets. I'd love to see Thunder and the Rockets. I think that'd be really, really entertaining. I think the Thunder Clippers also would be very entertaining, but I think I think they're a really bad matchup for us. Um, But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff like to look forward to in the playoffs. But as for the regular season, we've seen the Pelicans kind of start to come back. I believe they're like 7-3, 6-4 in their past like 10 games. And Zion has been killing it, and he's kind of starting to put up those numbers. And he came back for the halfway mark, and we've seen dudes win Rookie of the Year after controversially. And do you think that Zion can make a push for that Rookie of the Year spot? Obviously, Ja's the leader, and there's not a whole lot of people that are even close. But do you think he can make like the case for Rookie of the Year by the end of the season if he continues to do this?
Uh, he's gonna have a tough time, man. Like I told you, we have those other guys and Nunn and Tyler. I think those are off the top of my head. Those are the most notable ones. I wish I could look at all the rookies and because I'm sure there's a maybe another name or two that I'm missing. But Jaw's like the one that everybody has in the back of their head, and obviously Zion because Zion was the big name coming into the draft. It's definitely gonna come down to those two. Uh, he's gonna have a tough time, but he's putting up really good numbers. Obviously, Jaw has came in and made an instant impact to his team. I mean, they're in the playoffs now. Obviously, the roster's changed. Uh, Going forward, I mean, we got to see how Jaw deals with that. Uh, he's putting up great numbers. I don't know how efficient he's been. Um, hang on here, I just looked it up. Not too bad. 49 and 35.8 from three. Uh, you know, not bad at all. Doing really good. I mean, those are great numbers. I mean, I shouldn't say they're not bad at all, but and then Zion, I mean, also instantly came in. Hasn't really been slow at all. Granted, that could be because of the push from his teammates to make him look good, but he's doing great efficiency as well. Not too bad from three actually from what we've seen. Hasn't played as many games obviously, but has showed a lot in those few games that he's been. So I'm sure he'll make a really good argument for himself and put himself in a good position. And obviously, if he pushes his team for more wins and there's a notable change, I think he should definitely be in that same conversation. It's just going to be very hard for him to compete with Ja just because of the numbers of games he's played and obviously the instant impact he's had. But I'm sure there'll be an argument. People, if Ja wins, there'll always be, well, Zion came back, like, Zion made a great name. I feel like Zion should have won. And then obviously if Zion wins, there'll always be like, well, Ja played more games and Ja looked, he got his team to the playoffs, this, and that. So though I feel like there'll be controversy no matter what. And I mean, man, they're both great guys, and at the end of the day, you know, they'll both have a great career from what we can tell so far.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the big thing here to kind of like obviously Rookie of the Year right now, it's a fun debate, but these guys are going to be around for a long time, and the fact that they're so dominant this early, it's impressive to see. Because here's the thing about Ja, and I think Ja deserves it, and I think he's going to win it, and I think Zion is making a good case, but I don't think it's going to matter because he was out for such a prolonged amount of time that kind of I think if he was there from day one, I think the Pelicans would not only be in that 8 spot, but I think that he'd be the leader right now, just based on his immediate impact to kind of just come in like after a really bad injury too, and just immediately the second he came in, he's looking like a major force. Offensively, defensively, he's looking like an all-around amazing player. But here's the thing about Ja is taking a Grizzlies team that I remember whenever at the start of the season, people were like, "God damn, I feel bad for Andre Iguodala because he's in Memphis right now, and they're going to be terrible." And instead, they are in that 8 spot. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and he's looking phenomenal. He has a Mamba mentality, bro. He's out there killing it every single night. He doesn't care who he's going up against, and he's just looking great, man. He's looking really, really good. And I think the games played and the fact that he's elevated his team so much, because I think without him, they're one of the worst. They're not one of the worst teams in the West, but they're certainly not in the position that they are right now. And I think that I think by the end of the season, if Zion continues to play the way he is, I think there's going to be a debate, but I don't think that he's going to win. I think very much Ja is the clear winner when it comes to that. Or at least he will be, by the end of the season if he continues, and God forbid, no injuries happen and stuff like that. So something I think that is even clearer than the Rookie of the Year discussion is the MVP discussion, and I've seen this talked about on a lot of sports shows. I've heard it talked about on podcasts. Um, and it seems very, very clear to me that it seems like Giannis is going to run away with the MVP. And that's if he hasn't already. Because I've heard some people say, well, LeBron, the Lakers are good this year. This dude's like looking good and this, that, and the other. Um, but I just think how good the Bucks are and how good Giannis is right now. I think he's the clear MVP, and I don't think anybody's gonna touch him by the end of the year. Maybe if LeBron keeps up on his current, you know, uh, I guess kind of the way he's been playing, which he probably will because he's LeBron James. Maybe he can steal some votes away. But do you think there's? I guess I'll just ask: Do you stand with me on this discussion, or do you think there's somebody else who could potentially vie for that MVP slot?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think we could look this up. I think of the 8 games the Bucks have lost, I'm pretty sure half of those Giannis might have not even been playing in. I know for a fact he hasn't, because I know for a fact he didn't play with against the Pacers last night. But I think of those 8 games, you can actually look it up. And you can see that I think Giannis didn't play in those games or something, whatever it may be. Because if Giannis is playing, they generally win.
Yeah, I've heard that statistic too. I don't know if it's like half, but it's definitely it's a few games.
Or if
Like
he isn't playing, they play like notably different. Like
yeah.
you can see it. Like it's he's an important piece, and clearly he's the heart of the team. He's the centerpiece. He is their this the not to compare to say they're the same, but what Kareem was to the old Bucks many many years ago, that's what he is now to this team. Just so unique, so different, and the name too. It's all unique. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But do you think he's gonna run away with the MVP, or do you think anybody else can challenge him?
Oh, most definitely. I think obviously you'll always have Braun in discussion, Davis, but it's like, what other names can you really put in there who are just killing it as much as they are? You know what I mean? Like the Joker's always doing a great job, but it's like it's not even as much as like for some reason Giannis and Braun just got like that factor, and same with Davis. But I don't see Kawhi doing it. No one from the Jazz or the Rockets are below that. Luke is definitely not going to do it. No hate to him. One day, potentially. Raptors, no. Celtics, no one. The Heat, most definitely no one. And the Sixers, not at all. It's like those are the only 3 guys that really come to mind for me who could, potentially do it. And Giannis, to me, looks better than the other two.
Yeah, I think that's really, really fair. And you mentioned like they have like the it factor. I think part of that is that like LeBron and Davis play in LA, and Giannis, he has the highlight reel. He's on Bleacher Report all the time. He's got the insane play style, and obviously they're arguably the best team in the league right now, and definitely the best team in the East, like statistics wise. I think it'll be interesting to see when it comes to the playoffs how well they do, but I think right now he's the runaway MVP, and in terms of who's close to him, I think obviously Braun Davis, but even then, it's not like here's kind of the bad thing of being like a dynamic duo is that now your votes are gonna be split. Like if LeBron was just dominating on like the Lakers by himself, then there'd be a discussion. Like if they were this good, if they were the 1 seed, and that he was doing it by himself. Let's say it was last year he was putting up these numbers and they were winning, but instead he has an all-star level guy right next to him, MVP level guy next to him. So they're both their votes are going to be split up by people like, oh, is LeBron the reason for the Lakers' success, or is it AD? And is it, it's that other way around. So I think Giannis is going to run away with it. I'd like to see kind of somebody show up as a potential person just because I like having the debate. I don't like it whenever it's like such a straightforward thing. Like in the NFL this past year, Lamar Jackson was the clear guy, and stuff like that. So I like it whenever it's more fun. There's an actual debate going on. But that being said, there's not going to be one. Giannis clear MVP, but we still have half a season to go, so we'll see what the fuck happens. For all we know, like LeBron's going to turn it up, AD's going to turn it up. Somebody goes down, someone gets hurt. God forbid. Obviously, that's not what we want, but we'll have to see what happens. I believe that does us for the NBA this week. We filled it in with some nice talk there, some All-Star Week talk, and then move on to really the only big boxing match of this weekend, unless I'm missing one. Before we have the big Wilder Fury fight, which is going to be next week, which I'm so hyped for. It's crazy that it's almost here.
Bomb
Bomb
Squad.
Squad. I can't fucking wait for that one. That one's gonna be so much fun. Um, I've been watching all the preview stuff. Like I'm starting to get in that mood, man. Like you could just tell, like the week before a fight and fight week itself, you start watching all that shit. You start looking at all the previews. You start watching like the 40 days stuff or whatever it is for Fox and ESPN, the preview shows. And like there's been such a promotional push from ESPN for that fight. Like there was like Super Bowl commercials out the ass for that fight. Like it's gonna be huge. And
This
I really
better get fucking numbers, dude. I really hope.
well they did pretty good numbers their first time. Like but
How much?
boxing,
How much was it?
I think it was 400,000.
I mean, that's good, but it needs to be better, you know.
It's
And I think
not
it will be
Pacquiao
better.
numbers.
Oh, it will be better though. It will be better because there's people who I know don't watch boxing who are talking about it. You know.
Yeah,
So that's what gives me a lot of hope.
but also like part of it is like that fight was such a good thing for both of their profiles, man. Like going into it, people knew who Wilder and Fury was, but like since then, Fury's gotten on the ESPN, and you know what? He full credit to him. I said it was a bad move signing with ESPN. I was clearly wrong because since then he's kind of elevated his profile a lot more, and now more people are gonna, you know, watch the Wilder rematch. And since then,
He's a likable guy.
yeah, and since then, Wilder straight up murked Ortiz. He murked Brazil. He got 2 more highlight reel knockouts against better competition. You know, both those guys. I think Ortiz is arguably the 5th best guy in that heavyweight division. And then Brazil's a decent name as well. So, that's done a lot for both their profiles. So I think that one's gonna do. I don't know if it is a million. I think a million's a big thing because right now I think the only guys in combat sports that could probably do a million are probably Joshua in the UK. McGregor in the UFC, obviously.
Canelo.
Maybe Canelo, obviously. But then again, he's on his own, so I'm not really sure if that counts.
True, but if
If he was on
whatever, yeah, if he wasn't pay-per-view.
And then maybe a guy like John Jones. Like there's certain fighters out there that with the right matchup could do it, but I think this one might get close to a million. But anyways, moving on to the fight this weekend, Ryan Garcia, Francisco Fonseca.
The heartbreak himself.
The heartbreaker, Ryan Garcia. Obviously, he's kind of risen past prospect status at this point. I'd say he's right there in discussions for like one of the best in his weight class. At least that's kind of what we're starting to see in terms of.
Well, I personally think this is his biggest step up in competition. This would be the hardest challenge of his career. I mean, this is a guy formerly fought for the title, fought champions. Tevin Farmer, you just saw him. What was it, last week, right, or a week before that?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Gervonta Davis, obviously. So this is the biggest challenge of Brian's career, and it's his time to shine.
Yeah, same page here. Like he's facing a guy who's 25-2-2, and Francisco Fonseca. He's a guy that's very all around good. And he's very hard to get out of there. The only guy to get him out of there is Gervonta Davis. And obviously he lost to Farmer, but Tim Farmer, obviously, this guy's only lost to the best of the best. This is the point I'm trying to make here. And Ryan Garcia, if he wants to kind of throw his name in there, and if he wants to kind of be listed among like Davis and Haney and stuff like that, then he has to get through Francisco Fonseca. And I guess I'll ask you, do you think he does that?
I think he should. The thing is, right now, man, dude, he's putting himself out there. He's really put. I mean, he's risking, a lot going into this. Obviously, like anytime, like any boxer, because young, other guys young as well. But this is really his big push. I mean, this event was really made for him. I mean, it's on February, big fan base, a lot of girls love him, and it's really his time to go out there, maybe finally get that title shot. He says this year was the time. I personally believe, and a lot of other, actual boxing experts believe, that out of all the young guys, Haney, Teofimo, Gervonta, and I know I'm forgetting one more name, Shakur Stevenson, he is the last one. He really is, which is heartbreaking because of the following he has and the potential he can bring to the sport. But it's just the honest truth. And I mean, he really has to showcase his skill. I hope to see, he's put himself. I mean, he has Canelo as a mentor right now. Probably the greatest thing that could have happened. Eddie Reynoso, and helping him out. Like he has everything right now when it comes to this. And I really hope we can see some of those defensive changes, some stuff that I really haven't seen anything out of him. I really want to see that good head movement, how he's on the ropes, if he can just do more than just being a fast guy with his fist and letting his hands go, because it's not always going to be like that. You will run into those guys like Shakur who will outbox the fuck out of you to the very end of time. They don't give a fuck if it's boring as shit because they're here to win. And I hope that we just see a showcase some more stuff. I just want to constantly see that. I want to see Ryan become more an all-around boxer.
Yeah, and same page for me too. In terms of where he's at, and his kind of ranking among the other guys that are on the come up, the young guys, I kind of agree that he's kind of last. But at the same time, he has such a large profile and has such a large fan base that he's going to be around for a while now in terms of getting big fights. Like obviously, if he wins this one, to me, if he wins this one, which I think he does, whether it be close or, um, close or a knockout or whatever, I think he's going to get it done. But with that being said,
and I mean, there's 2 vacant titles, so it's set up
true.
for him. WBC and IBO are currently vacant. I don't know if they're setting it up for someone, but those are vacant right now. I do think Teofimo's really far away from him. Loma's not even a foreseeable challenge. I think he won't even fight him. Loma will retire before Ryan hits that point in his career.
I hope not. I'd like to see that some point down the line. God, not anytime soon. Jesus.
Not anytime soon. No.
It'd be bad.
It'd be bad. Yeah. And it's looking good. I do want to call out. I want to call out someone. Devin's someone he's really. I think in the amateurs they're 1-on-1 against each other. I mean, he's fought like all those guys he's fought. He's fought them all in the amateur. He fought Devin. One of his last amateur fights was with Devin. Lost to him. He did beat him before, so it's 1-1 right now. Lost him before that, and I think he might have fought one more time before that, and he might have won. I think it might be 2-2 right now in the amateurs. I could be wrong, or it could be 2-1.
I saw a post about this. It was like it's 2-2, according to the zone.
According to the zone. So I mean, they have some business to settle in the pros. I don't think there's any animosity or any beef there, but I mean, I'm sure when it comes around, this stuff can change. They look pretty cool, but obviously when media times comes around, they'll probably have to sell it a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the question I was going to ask you, it seems like you kind of went in that direction, is who you think, obviously, if he wins here, who will his next fight be against? Davis, Haney, Akan, somewhere in between.
I mean, realistically, if I'm Eddie and his team, I'm like, hey, we'll get you a guy, top 25, whoever. We're gonna get you that vacant title. We're gonna push for that vacant title, and that's what we're gonna do. And we get him. He gets the vacant title, and then he defends. Maybe calls out Haney. It set up Haney for a good situation. He gets the box for a title, and it's just perfect. It's the perfect storm. They get to get to kill the amateur shit. I mean, I hope it turns into a saga. Like the Antonio Tarver and Roy Jones. I mean, they fought each other in the amateurs, fought each other in the pros. They were chasing each other their whole careers, and I think that's something that can happen for these guys. And I think that just makes for an amazing storyline.
Yeah, I agree. And in terms of who I want to see next, even if it's not next, within 2020, it's kind of what I'm trying to mean here. I don't think it's going to be Davis. Obviously Davis is kind of not sure if you saw this because I didn't see it that publicized.
It was a mugshot. Yeah,
he got arrested for the old domestic violence, beating up on his girlfriend at about his Super Bowl weekend party, I believe. That shit went viral too because like he straight up. I guess what he did was he hauled his girlfriend out. Like they're out in public. They were like at a crowd or whatever, and he hauled her out by the neck. And I guess he took her backstage. Apparently beat her up, according to the police and security cameras. So that's tough. That's real tough. But yeah, I don't think he'll be around right now. But obviously, I think Haney's if Haney's not next within 2020, I think this, given the backstory of them in the amateurs, obviously Haney's right there in terms of like his kind of stat. Not obviously Ryan Garcia's a much bigger like star, but Haney has the respect from the boxing pundits, and he's slowly but surely making his name as well in the public eye. So I think that one's, if it's not next, it's at least in 2020. So, is there anything else we got to talk about in boxing or?
Caleb Plant is fighting this week, but I really don't care for that. Not gonna lie to you. Outside of that, I mean, I'm just kind of ready for next week. At least what I want for the people.
For the people.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that fight. I really can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, that's the only thing on box rec for that day. So there you go.
Well, in terms of heavyweight, I kind of like this is kind of like a really quick thing to throw in. I saw that Andy Ruiz is gonna announce his next fight soon.
Yeah, that's big time. Hopefully it's a nice little return. Former heavyweight world champ of the world, Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, Andy. Let's hope he's actually giving a shit again. That'd be fun.
I think he will motivate himself. I think he was disappointed with himself. You can tell, and he wants that rematch. And I think he'll come back smarter, and he's learned a lot. Since then. That was his first time holding the title, and he fucked up. He knows it, but obviously, I think that Joshua fight needs to happen again. I mean, it's 1-1 right now.
Somewhere down the line.
Somewhere down the line, both young. Joshua and him have some unfinished business, without a doubt. If you think that's done, I think that's ridiculous to think, just because of how both fights ended.
Yeah, I also think that because like, given the way both of them happened, I think he'd have to go out there and get a couple more wins. So I think at least 1 to 2.
Maybe even 3, just depending who he fights. Maybe just 2. I think if he fights a very low guy, let's say like who did I throw out last time? I forgot. Other Mexican guy. I forget his name. It's not coming to my head.
Ariola?
Yeah, Ariola, and let's say he beats Ariola, but then he fights like Kawanaki or some shit like that, or gets a Pulev fight or some shit like that. Then I think he's in pretty good, situation to fight again. Or call out, Joshua.
Yeah, I think the perfect route for him would probably be kind of a layup, not really a layup guy, but a guy like Ariel, who's kind of past his best, but still a name in his next fight to kind of get himself back motivated, get back into shape, and then face maybe someone like Luis Ortiz. I really want that Luis Ortiz fight. I really want that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think in terms of heavyweights that are currently not scheduled, that's just like because obviously Pulev and Joshua are gonna face off, and then you got guys.
Oh, you have that confirmed?
Not confirmed, but it seems like they're getting pretty close. That's what I've heard. And then obviously Wilder Fury are going to fight next week, and then there's other guys going on right now that are all scheduled. So
Usyk's the odd man out right now, though, right? He's the one kind of waiting right now.
Him and Chirosa are apparently supposed to fight in May.
Really? Because they were gonna make Usyk do a mandatory, right, against whoever Joshua or Andy, whoever won that fight. I don't know however they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
now.
I remember that. That's the way that was gonna happen, but
it's weird now. Well,
yeah, he's gonna face Chirosa. I think that one's gonna be a banger right there.
Well, we'll see how it works out.
Maybe Andy's gonna face old like Bermain Stavern or some shit, but
Bermain Stavern. No, Otto Wallin.
Apparently that's another fight crossed off the list. That's another name crossed off. He's facing Lucas Brown that just got confirmed.
Okay, what's the scheduling on that?
I think it's May on ESPN.
I want to report on that. I still have faith in that man, dude. I really do.
Really?
I do. Otto Wallin. I still have faith in him.
Yeah, I do too. I think he has the potential. Like, I don't know if he's gonna be a world. He could have just been in a situation like he's a bad matchup for Fury, and he was there on the right night. But he got people's attention. Yeah, he's actually March 28th, 2020. Lucas Brown. So that one's gonna be fun. An MGM. So yeah,
that's what's up.
That's what's up. So, but I believe that's all we got for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed as always. At Josh Evanoff on Twitter, at Angel Ortega _01. Wish the man a happy birthday. God damn it. At Courtside Sound1 on Twitter, Courtside Soundoff on everywhere, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, iTunes. I've been lacking on the YouTube stuff, but I've been really, really busy as of late with work and other stuff going on in my life. School started back up recently, so I've had less and less time. So, but still, thank you guys for listening as always. We're coming up on 1 year of the Sound Off in March, late March, March 25th, I believe, is the 1 year anniversary of the Sound Off. It's going to be a fun episode. We're also approaching episode 50, which that one's going to be fun as well. So thank you guys for listening, and as always, peace and butt grease. Mouse click.